Hey, welcome back to another episode of Jim's Having an Episode. On this episode, there are 4 things I need to talk about. It's been a while since I've posted anything, or at least Jim's Having an Episode. I needed to talk about UV rays, the effect it has on me and my equipment. I'm going to have some product updates, which are pretty cool. I've got a Q&A. 3 people have come to me and asked me some questions, so I thought it'd be pretty cool if I did a little Q&A. And finally, I'll be talking about what's in store for 2023. So I've got some things lined up and can't wait to get to that. So here we go. So I wanted to talk about UV rays. Now, I'm in my 10th year of bike packing, and it wasn't up until a couple of years ago I started to realize what effect the UV rays were having on me and my equipment. I never took it seriously, but now I am taking it seriously. When you think about how much time I spend on the road on any given expedition, I could spend an average of 12 hours a day. So 12 hours a day for 17 days to have that sun beating down on me takes its toll. So some of the equipment I'm talking about is my Scully bag from Mountain Equipment. As you can see, this sits on my trailer and it's just exposed to the sun pretty much all day long. And after all these years, I've had all these things happen to it. You can see that the plastic is coming off. Now these Scully bags are really cool. They're actually dry bags, and the clear coat, or the material that's on top of the material, is coming apart. And it's all falling off and it gets all over the place. So the bag's getting old, the equipment's gotten old, and I since replaced it with a black one. Not that black makes a difference, but that's all they had in stock until recently. I picked up my favorite canoeing color. Most of my equipment is kind of turning yellow. I don't know why. It's not really my favorite color, but I have a new one for the next trip. I love those Scully bags. They come 3 different sizes. These are 50s. I got a 100 behind me, and they also come in 30-liter bags. So pretty cool. I like it because it opens up from the top and you can get at your things a lot easier. Same thing with, I gotta reach over here. This is a dry bag I use. I put my camera bag in and I roll it up, and this is what sits behind my seat. Now over the years, again, the same thing is happening. So much exposure and it's all coming apart. That doesn't necessarily mean that my equipment is no longer waterproof, because the material underneath is holding. I don't know what material that is, but that's actually the stuff that will keep everything dry. It's waterproof, but you could see what's happening here. My panniers. I used to think it was just wear and tear, because there's the yellow stuff all over the place. Let's see here. My panniers are a different story. Well, we got the same thing. They are coming apart. They're peeling, being exposed all day long for years. And what I was found happening with my dry bags, these panniers, is that the seams are starting to come apart. The glue is coming undone. Now, I can't really show you because I took the time a little while ago to repair it. So what I've done was I went and glued, this pocket was ready just to come right off. And I ended up gluing it back on. I hope it lasts a little bit longer. and some of the seams on the inside are coming apart. So all been repaired, but you know, my equipment is showing its age. And get all this stuff all over the place. What else? These are the shoes I used to ride in. I've gone through so many different pairs of shoes. I finally found one that I like. Well, I knew about this Vans all the time for a long time. I grew up wearing them back in my BMX days. I chose this because they are built tough. In fact, I will wear out the soles before I wear out anything on these shoes. Yeah, they're tough. They don't fall apart, much like my All-Stars. These were fairly brand new. It's got holes in it already, and I don't even use it for anything. But being exposed to the sun as much as it has been, and it's only been 2 years, I just picked this one up. This is the exact same shoe. It's supposed to be all black. You could see what the sun has done to the shoe. It's literally bleached the color. Both sides, both shoes. Really, it's taken quite a toll. Also, you might have noticed I wear these arm sleeves. I wear them for 2 reasons. It does protect my arms, and it actually keeps your arms a little cooler. So when you put that on like this, you just simply wear it like that, and then you have your gloves. You can pull that down, protect your wrist a little bit. But they used to be black. The entire arm, up until where my shirt covers the top, has turned brown. Now, had I not been wearing this, I can't imagine what the sun would have done to my skin. But I've got an idea, because for the longest time I thought all I had to do was just wear a bandana under my helmet. And then once I've done that, I pretty much forgot about it. I just assumed that that was going to protect my neck. No, it's not going to. So I do have some damage to my skin, not severe. I haven't seen anything cancerous or anything horrible, but I do notice a distinct difference in my neck. So I will continue to do this only because it seems to have become my signature look. So I'm going to keep doing it. So that is that. Now, what can I do to protect my equipment? I don't think there's much. Somebody suggested liquid car wax, at least on my bags. I don't think so. So, Copper Tone Sport, the spray. I've been using this a lot now. Not just on my neck, but on my legs, even the top above my knees. The skin has gotten dry. So now I use this, and I'm even thinking of maybe spraying it on my equipment, just spraying it over the bags. I did try this. It's Copper Tone, it's the same thing, Sport. It's a gel. I don't like it. You get that stuff on your hands, especially in the morning. You've packed up all your equipment, you're ready to go, you put the stuff on, and you're kind of doing this and this, and it's really hard to get off your hands. Even though you go to try to wash it off, and you know, you take a rag and wipe it, you can still feel a little film, and I find that annoying. So if you're out there, please protect yourself. I'm getting a first-hand look at what UV does to me and my equipment, And now I'm going to be a little wiser. I'm finally, after all these years, going to start taking care of myself. I actually started doing this last year, and it's worked out fine. I live next to an apartment building, low income. So, anyway, I think that's pretty much it on UV rays. Product updates. Big one. I purchased an extension handlebar on my bike, and I did it because I needed more room to put junk on my handlebars. But what it's done was, if you've seen some of my other movies where my primary camera that sits on the front of my bike, it's mounted right on my pannier rack. As you can see, there we go. This is my camera, this is my pannier rack. And this is my primary camera angle. It gives me all the forward action as I'm moving along. The problem with that over the years is that it's attached to the forks. Now these cameras are highly sensitive. They pick up everything. So what happens here on the road comes up through here, and the camera picks it all up. Pretty much like this. So, what I've done now, I'm going to bring the camera up a little closer so you can actually see this. Okay, here we go. I've picked up a bar extension. Basically, it just attaches to your handlebars and moves everything out. So here's my flashlights, my computer, my GPS still sits here. But now I've got a camera mount. And the great thing about that is when the camera is sitting there on top, the vibrations that come up through the forks, it's got to get past the neck. It's got to get to the handlebars. And it's got to get to here. And what that is going to do, oh, my mic's all tangled up. What that's going to do is that's going to cut down on about 95% of the amount of vibrations that come off the road. So this could be really, really cool. I've already tested it out on a rail trail. And with the limestone ground, and it's working out pretty good. It's working. I've actually tried it in a few other places on the roads, on the highways, and I'm really impressed. So that's going to cut out a lot of that annoying. So yeah, we'll see how that works out. Might be a little bit more enjoyable to watch now. The other thing I picked up, just actually about a month ago, well, instead of me trying to explain it to you, how about I explain it to you? I'm at sale, and I just picked up a new tent. My Eureka El Capitan 2-person, 3-season tent. Why sale? Because it was on sale. That's a good thing. At least I think so. Yeah, it's a good thing. So now I have 6 tents. So why do I have so many tents? Well, 3 of them aren't really any good anymore. They're all beat up and worn out. One is a 3-person tent, and that's more for my canoe trips. And the one I've been using on my expeditions, it's sort of all mesh, so it lets in a lot of morning dew. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this new tent. Cool. Pretty cool. I kind of wished it was here so that I could actually show you. Oh, there it is. Where'd that come from? Yeah, pretty cool. The tent I had before this, again, it was all mesh with a fly. All the morning dew would come down through the mesh. And my blankets, my sleeping bag, everything is damp. And if my White River expedition, when I was north of Sault Ste. Marie, I had several days of rain. So no chance of my equipment actually drying out. So I had to deal with the dampness for a few days anyway. So I love this tent, and I was wrong about what I mentioned. I said it was a three season tent. It is not. It is a 4-season tent. It's a little heavier. The material's a little heavier. They've improved on the zippers so that when you go zipping up and down, they don't get stuck in your tent. You're kind of like, argh! Not this one. They've made the zippers a lot wider, so that won't happen. And I'm really happy. I'm looking forward to using this. And again, it's a few pounds more than my other tents, but small price to pay for equipment that works. Equipment. I think that's pretty much it. Other than I picked up a new dry bag for my trailer. That's pretty much for equipment. Now, let's move on to the next segment. All right, I've had some questions coming from a few people, and let's start with who we got here. Dan. I had to pick this one first. All right. Dan asked me, Jim, how come you don't have music in your videos? Well, for years I've been watching people on their expeditions, whether it be canoeing, backpacking, cycling, or whatever, and the music is constantly going. And what I notice is that I'm not really hearing what the cyclist is hearing. I want to hear that truck going by, or the water splashing up against the canoe, or, you know, I want to hear things that are happening around me. So, but I got music going, you're just hearing music and just some guy on a bike or some guy in a canoe. So that's the reason why I don't put music in. I mean, maybe I could at certain times, but I prefer to leave everything natural. I just think it allows the viewer to hear what I'm hearing when I'm out there. So that's enough of that one. Thanks, Dan, for submitting that question. The next two are from a friend named Rick, and Rick is a good friend of mine. Rick was here a little while ago, and he got me started on the bass guitar, and that's going really well. The problem is I was having so much fun with it that the top of my hand became swollen. I had a blister on my on the tip of my finger. My thumb is a little strained, and well, this hand's not too bad because you know, from hitting the string so much, it did hurt for a little while. But anyway, Rick was great enough to ask a couple of questions. And the first one is, Jim, when you're riding and you're doing commentary, where's the camera? How are you filming yourself? Easy enough. So again, now that my primary camera is going to be moved from here to up here, I'm going to have my second camera here. Now I got about 5 different camera angles. I've got 2 on the trailer. I've got 1 on my helmet. And the other great camera angle, which I've been using a lot, is simply in your hand. So when I'm riding, I'll reach down, I'll pull the camera out, and just simply as I'm riding, I'm talking into the camera. And the cool thing about it is, I can take the camera, I can span, I can move it around, show behind me, you know, drop it here, behind the bike. I don't know why I've never thought of that before, but that's a pretty cool idea. So yeah, just in my hand, just like that. And then it goes back here. Now the camera that's going to be up here is actually the camera I'm actually filming with now. So that's that. Still don't know where that tent came from. Okay. So that answers that. Oh, man. Okay. Rick goes, hey, Jim, when you're on your bike trips, do you drink? Give me a second here. What kind of a question is that? Of course I do. But there are rules. The only time I'll grab, say, a 6-pack of beer, I'll only drink beer on the night before my day off. Never on the night before I'm riding. The night before my day off, I get my tent set up, get my equipment all unpacked, and I could sit by the fire at night and think about how things have gone to this point, and think about what the next few days are going to look like. So I'm going to sit by the fire. Sure, I'll have a few beers. Never on the day off. The day off is reserved for making sure that your equipment is ready to go. Make sure that the chain is clean, re-oiled, unpack, pack again. Make sure everything is organized. I have to look after myself. I got to make sure I take care of anything that's been bugging me. Sore toes, knees, anything. I need to deal with it. It's also a great opportunity, if the campground has it, is to do some laundry. So I'm pretty busy on my days off. And then there is no alcohol that evening. I'm up at 4 in the morning. I'm usually on the road by 6 a.m. and you need to be in one piece. So only the night before my day off. Other than that, not at all. I am so glad I got that one out of the way. I've had people say, holy cow, man. Like, have you been drinking? No. So, anyway, that covers that one. And the final question. Oh, this question comes from Jim. That's me. To this point, I've called myself the pedaling paddler. So probably what a lot of people are wondering is, okay, we've seen the pedaling. Where's the paddling? All right, you want to see some paddling? Here's some paddling. Putting it back in there. Put your PFD on. Blue sky down there. Lots of blue sky down there. It's There was way too much to talk about. A number of things have gone wrong, including I fell ill. How do you do that out here? It's beyond me. So, the pedaling paddler is actually doing some paddling. So whether you like it or not, you get to watch me canoe back to the truck. How's that? Okay, here's one. While you're being bored watching me paddle, I got a question for you, and Google it and message me. Do red squirrels eat chipmunks? Why do you ask? Why do I ask? Because I saw a red squirrel with a chipmunk in his mouth. Well, there we go. Something to think about. I'm going to turn the canoe. Maybe, just maybe, you'll see an otter just about 20 feet from me. See him? Right over here. Cool. That's when I should have been holding onto the camera, but I'm afraid to drop it in the water again.
That's like a mink. That's
Yeah.
a mink, Jim.
Yeah, it's not an otter. I think it is a mink or a... It is. It's like a ferret or a mink or something. Or probably can't get it that good on camera. That's no otter. If it was an otter, it would have dove.
Yeah, it's a mink. It's herons.
There's so many different names, like mink, ferret. I don't know. I gotta look it up. There's like 5 different names for those things. Now that was my canoe trip last fall. I didn't get to document it because 5 of the 7 days I had a cold. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't, my voice wasn't the same. And I didn't get to do a lot of filming. I don't know, this has never happened to me before. I've never been sick on a trip, whether it be cycling, whether it be biking or canoeing or whatever. Who gets sick? So I did. So I didn't do a lot of filming. But now the other reason for not having any footage on canoeing or even having the opportunity to canoe, a lot of it had to do with the pandemic. And I'm not sure where to go with that. I had a lot of restrictions on myself. I never did get COVID. Woohoo! Still batting 1,000. But I was planning on doing a number of solo trips. A lot of places I wanted to do, the Temagami backcountry, and so on. Anything else I came up with. But I'm realizing now that a 17-foot prospector is a little overkill for solo canoeing. So I had the opportunity to do day trips on my canoe trip back in the fall, and began to realize that it wasn't a good fit for solo canoeing. The canoe is just so long. So I'm hoping I could maybe find a 15-footer out there, something lighter, something that I could easily just throw over, because this thing now on the shelf, well, I had this canoe custom made, and with everything that I threw on it, I think it went from 68 pounds to maybe 75 pounds, maybe more. So it's quite heavy. And for me to be portaging a canoe like that would just be absolutely crazy. So I still, again, I do have my fall trips, which I'm going to make sure I don't get sick and document it well. And that's pretty much it. Oh, no, it's not. The other thing too is we can thank Vladimir Putin for his invasion on my country, the Ukraine. Since the invasion, gas prices have gone through the roof. Okay, I simply cannot afford with my truck to do solo trips. I am not sponsored, and I don't have a lot of money. So I could have, but with gas prices the way they are, it's just it's not feasible for solo trips. So yeah, thanks Vladimir. On the bike packing front, got a trip coming up, second week in Niagara Tour Part 2. And we're going to ride the entire length of the Welland Canal. We're going to see maybe a bit of St. Catharines and Niagara on the Lake. Those places we have not done last year. I think time became an issue. So we got Part 2 in the works. Woohoo! I ran into a fella. I was training in Burlington, and I had somebody ride up beside me. I think his name's Mike. Mike, hi Mike. I know you're watching because you said you'd follow me. I think you've subscribed as well. That he thought about maybe at some point this year doing a ride out to Smithville. He said he saw one of my videos where that was the Niagara Tour, where I was riding through Smithville. And he's from Smithville. He hasn't been there since he was a kid, and he'd love to see it again. So that's open. And now we come to August. August is when I do my big trips. So I have planned to tour the entire Grey Bruce Peninsula. It'll be a round trip. And what makes this trip different from any other trip, and I keep saying that after every trip, but this one scares me a little bit. I have no flight plan. I have not sat down during the winter and planned out this trip. I am going blindly. I don't have any accommodations. I did not pre-book accommodations. So that kind of worries me a little bit. But I think there's going to be a lot of what they call stealth camping. Stealth camping, I see that as trying to find places to pitch a tent for the night where technically you're not allowed to, or at least don't have permission to. I like to call it scavenger camping, because halfway through the day, now you're thinking about, where am I sleeping tonight? I have no idea. So I'll try the usual campgrounds, anything I come across, if they're available or not. Chances are they're usually all booked up. But I'm going to be searching for places to pitch my tent. And I'm going to take 17 days to do this. Hopefully I will see Manitoulin Island for the day as well. I'm hoping. So I'm a little nervous about this one, and this is going to be fun. So if you want adventure, I think this year I'm actually going to provide it. It'll be interesting. And I have to remember, film all the bad stuff, because the bad stuff is what makes things exciting. And if things don't go wrong, then it's kind of quite boring. You know, a picture perfect trip is just boring. We want to see things go wrong. So adventure begins when things go wrong. So 2023, I want to thank everybody for tuning in for Jim's having an episode. I think this is episode number 7. Yeah, I think so. I think it's number 7. So cool. I've had a couple of things already to talk about that no one else has touched, like nails and trees and the effects of UV on your equipment and your body. So again, thank you for tuning in. I'll try to come up with more updates when I can. And yeah, thank you very much.